Hey, good morning, you guys. Can you see this? One day later. So, weather completely changed overnight. I got up this morning, and it was sunny and warm. This was about 1 hour ago. And it looked like it was going to be 70. You know, it said high of 69, which meant it was going to be much warmer here in this neighborhood. But then when I came out here, this giant fog bank rolled in. So when I got down, the sun completely covered up, and this fog bank rolled in, and so this is the same spot that we were at yesterday, where we saw that guy walking in the water. And this is that spot that I was telling you about, you know, where there's sandbars, and this little spot right here is actually a wet reef underneath the water right here. So it gets about 4 or 5 or 6 feet deep right here, but then if you just keep going out, it gets shallow again to where it's like 1 foot deep, or not even deep at all. But this is where one of those spots. So it's beautiful right here at the water this morning, but you've got this really cool, thick, ground level fog. Look at this. Pretty beautiful. But it's not at all cold. There's zero wind. And this is the type of thing that happens here that I guess it only happens, it has to do with ground temperature. Look at these Frenchies, they're so cute. With ground temperature and air temperature and wind temperature. So it can never freeze here. And part of it is because of this weird fog or cloud that's always over the ocean, and this being the Pacific Ocean. So even though it freezes in California, just like maybe an hour east of us or 2 hours east of us, it really freezes. They actually do have seasons in the valley that are similar to seasons back east. But when you're on the coast in California, you don't have those same seasons in the same way, because it never changes because of the reasons I said. It has something to do with water temperature and air temperature and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. I just pretend to be one on television. But it's a beauty morning. This would be a perfect morning for swimming, and like I said, it's actually warm, even though it looks like it's inclement. You know, it's actually warm. It's about 66 degrees right now, and it's going to warm up just like the weather said. But we might not see the sun for a couple more hours until all this burns off. Let's see, isn't this a nice spot? This is the reef. What I was telling you, how cool is this? You can snorkel in this, and you can swim in this, and you can body surf, and you know, it's a neat little spot. And during the crab season, this spot right here is just at the bottom. When you walk out there, you'll step on crabs. I've done it many times. You step on the top of crabs. You kind of feel bad for pushing down on them. You think you might be pinched that way. I've never been pinched in that manner. I've never really been pinched real hard by a crab. Once I learned how to, you know, and I guess I didn't mess with them until I learned everything. I have a horrible story about this involving my cousin in Jamaica before I knew anything about crabs, and maybe he didn't know anything about crab either. But now, once you understand how these animals work, you know, they can't really attack you if you're directly above them and pushing down on them, especially on their body from behind, on top. You just kind of grab them from behind and lift them up, and unless they're the variety with the long limbs, like a rock crab that we have here, the Rockies, they can reach around and pinch you. But the Dungeness crab, which are the ones that we also have here, we have those two main species are what we have here. Rock crab and Dungeness crab, that's what we catch. And the rock are smaller, not as tasty. The Dungeness are the ones that are famous, that you know, that you see a picture of all the time. Fisherman's Wharf and stuff. And they're real simple. So one time we were in Jamaica with some family and friends on a secluded beach that was like a private beach of ours. That we had a week on a private beach. It was quite a spectacular vacation. It was really nice. Anyway, on this beach, it was freaking beautiful. And this one day there was this crab, and he was a Dungeness crab. This is Jamaica, and I guess they have Dungeness over there as well. He looked just like the ones that we have here. Anyway, he's pretty big, probably about 8 inches across his back. 6 inches the catch limit here. Maybe it's 5 1/4 or 5 1/2, 5 3/4, I forget. You have a little measuring thing you have. Anyway, we didn't have any of that. We're not even crab fishing. We're just hanging out on the beach in Jamaica. And we're wearing nothing but shorts. And so this crab is in this shallow, beautiful area with crystal clear water, and he was really up high, like right up near us. And so I'm like, Jay, grab that crab, man. See if you can grab him. Grab him. You're fast enough to grab him. Grab that crab, Jay. So Jay grabs this crab, and he grabs it by one of the claws and yanks it up out of the water. And in a flash, like in the same instant of him grabbing the crab by the claw and pulling it up out of the water, of course, it reaches around with its other claw, and it pinches him on the hand, directly on the thumb. Pretty bad, man. I mean, I think it cut his thumb. Sorry, Jay. Yeah, so I don't know if he's grabbed a crab like that since then. But I have grabbed lots of crabs since then, but not like that. Once I learned how they work. Yeah, not like that. You can see nothing here. Isn't this a trip? Look, I almost walked by our spot. I almost walked by V Street. How low it is. And there's the lifeguard stand. So we saw some of this yesterday south. It was going on down south, like in Pacifica, but now it's moved up north. I imagine in Santa Cruz, probably the whole Monterey Bay is covered in clouds and fog right now. Santa Cruz, Aptos, Marina, Monterey, Pacific Grove, Carmel, Pebble Beach. It's probably all completely enshrouded, like you can't see anything. It'll look like this. It's kind of cool, you know. I mean, it's got this spooky feel to it, like a gothic horror look to it, especially down the Rocky Coast, the places I was just telling you about. I grew up in this little town down there and spent a lot of time all through my high school years in this town, Pacific Grove, about 90 minutes south of us, the Monterey Peninsula. And it's fog like this. Fog rolls in just about every night, right around 10, 11, midnight, and it stays until sometimes early in the morning. Sometimes it'll be gone when the sun comes up, 7 or 8 a.m., it'll burn off. Other times, certain times of the year, and it feels like when you live there, it's the whole freaking year, the fog doesn't burn off until 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So that's kind of like the story of my high school years, is growing up in this type of a thick fog environment with a bunch of privileged people. A lot of privilege. What's going on here? Look at this. This sort of thing reminds me of those stacks of rocks that people leave sometimes. You know, where you're supposed to take a stick or a rock and you're supposed to come and add it to what they've created. But not today, hippie. Not today, hippie. Not today, hippie. There. I'm not going to completely destroy it, but I'm not going to add to it. I'm not going to play your fucking game. You're not going to force me to contribute to your ridiculous art projects made of sticks. So it's a cool place. It's got, you know, it's not like what you see. It's not like Baywatch on television around here. This north coast of California it's like more like that movie with Jack Nicholson and Boris Karloff. Was that a Roger Corman movie? The Terror? Is that what it was called? It's more like that. And when you get down to the area that I'm talking about, that rocky coast, that Monterey area, the peninsula, Carmel, Pacific Grove, Pebble Beach, sometimes, it happens here too, but not on the same level as it does there. So this great opulence meets face to face with the roiling Pacific. So it looks really cool when you've got all these, you know, beautiful castle-like homes, you know, pushed right up against this shit, up against this ocean and this fog and these rocks. Not today, hippie. Not today. You can see nothing. It's like, what is it, about a 50-yard, 100-yard visibility in every direction? Look at this. This sticker's been here for about 2 years. This create reality, alter your future. I don't know why nobody has messed with this. So many of these other ones have been messed with and picked off, and this used to be an Elvis Presley head. Somebody painted it all green. That was Elvis's face, and it looks like they sprayed it with green paint or something. BMAC. One love, one people, one destiny. Fuck. I like that right there. We need more of this. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Time to call it a day. That's a nice shot. This light is kind of nice. At least for me, I can... When it's foggy like this, it's ideal filming weather for me because I can actually see the viewfinder on the phone. Usually I can't because of the sun. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'll talk to you later.